Principal Violeta Labang, Master Teacher Saranay Gundan, teachers and members of the faculty, administration, and staff of Felipe G. Calderon Elementary School, family, friends, and the community at large. Students and graduates, today must be quite a momentous event for every one of you. You have successfully overcome the important first hurdle in your youth, finishing elementary and high school. You all deserve to be heartily congratulated, and your parents are fully justified in feeling very proud of you. However, it is important to realize that this is just the beginning of a wonderful journey, the journey of life. In living our lives in this world, the scripture guarantees, and I repeat, it guarantees, that we will encounter trials and tribulations, punctuated by episodes of happiness, merriment, and contentment. And this very occasion today is one of those. You might ask, why is life full of affliction? It is because this world which we live in is imperfect, and the only place we can find perfection and endless joy is the kingdom of heaven. Thus, an important part of our job in this world is to survive the trials and tribulations that we are certain to encounter. How then do we equip ourselves so we can surmount the tests of time? First, we must have courage, then perseverance. But most importantly, we must have faith. In connection with these struggles of life, I would like to share with you a poem called Invictus, composed by 19th century British poet, writer, and author William Ernest Henley. I encourage you to find out more about Mr. Henley in order to better understand the meaning of his famous poem. And it goes like this.
Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced, nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
So now let us dissect this poem and try to understand what it wants to convey to us. The first stanza mentions darkness and blackness, referring to anguish and despair. But his soul is strong, so he persists. The second stanza refers to stoicism and perseverance in the face of dire straits. Head bloody but unbowed indicates an iron will. The third stanza refers to the struggles we face in this world and of hell that awaits us, but we should remain unafraid. The fourth stanza alludes to the difficulty of surviving the trials and struggles, but we are still the master of our own destiny. In summary, the poem emphasizes courage and strength of character when facing the trials and tribulations of life. This poem is highly motivational and can be a source of strength and willpower in the face of pain and suffering. The poem has a very apt title, Invictus, which is the Latin term for undefeated or unconquerable, all in the face of misery and dejection. So that's for the inspirational or philosophical part of my talk. And now for the practical or pragmatic part. In this connection, I'd like to share with you The 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson, a Canadian clinical psychologist and author. And here they are.
The 12 Rules for Life, by Jordan Peterson. Rule 1. Stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Posture is something most people take for granted. But good posture makes you look taller, more attractive, and confident. You can practice good posture by placing a hardbound book on your head and then walking several feet without letting the book fall. Don't disregard good posture. It is part of good health.
Rule 2. Treat yourself like you are someone you are responsible for helping.
If you are responsible for helping someone, such as a nurse with her patient, then the nurse should treat that person kindly. So this rule simply tells us to treat ourselves kindly. After all, we are our own best friends.
Rule 3. Make friends with people who want the best for you.
That is, choose carefully the people with whom you closely associate. This does not mean being snobbish. It just means to associate with people who could influence you in a positive way, not in a negative way.
Rule 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
That is, compete with yourself, not with others. Try to break your own record, not others' records. If you keep on doing this, chances are you will sooner or later find yourself not too far behind the leader of the pack.
Rule 5. Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them.
I know this rule does not apply to you today, but later on you will probably have kids of your own. If you let your child do something that makes you dislike them, then the bond of love between you and the child will be broken.
Rule 6. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world.
This rule is equivalent to a verse in the scripture that says, "Why be concerned about the speck in your neighbor's eye when you have a plank on your own?" It is called hypocrisy, and it must be avoided.
Rule 7. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient.
Expedient means quick and easy, although not necessarily proper or moral. When faced with the choice between doing something quickly and easily, but improperly, and doing it the hard way, but with propriety, we must choose the latter. Always take the high road.
Rule 8. Tell the truth, or, at least, don't lie.
As the saying goes, honesty is the best policy. If you lie, you will find yourself having to lie again to cover your first lie, and then a third lie to cover the second lie, and so on. Lying snowballs. You should avoid lying.
Rule 9. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't.
There will be times when the person talking to you has some quirks and mannerisms that makes her look unsmart or with little education. But don't be fooled. Don't fall into the trap of assuming that she is beneath you. For all you know, she knows a lot of things you don't. In other words, don't judge a book by its cover.
Rule 10. Be precise in your speech.
Another thing we often take for granted is our speech. A lot of misunderstanding can be avoided if we use precise speech. We also sound foolish and seem uneducated if our speech is often imprecise.
Rule 11. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding.
When kids skateboard, they just want to have fun. Don't let yourself get irritated by the noise they make. You were once a child too, so just let it go. In other words, don't sweat the small stuff.
Rule 12. Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Or, Stop and smell the roses.
Modern lifestyle has become too hectic that we often fail to live in the moment. This rule says that the present moment is all you have right now, as the past is gone and the future is not guaranteed. So try as much as possible to savor the here and now. So there you have it, The 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. I encourage you to read more about Mr. Peterson to learn more about his 12 rules. Now that you're about to take your summer vacations before embarking on the next chapter of your lives, I encourage you to take stock of what you have accomplished thus far and formulate a plan for your immediate future. Are you too shy that it is hard for you to make friends? Then practice initiating conversation with your trusted friends and expressing yourself. Do you feel you are not very good in math? Then go to the library and borrow math books to read and learn from them and try to solve math problems on your own. Is your English in need of improvement? Then read the English newspapers that are available to you and go to the library and borrow books in English grammar and composition and study them. Do you find yourself short-tempered and easily upset or angered? Then seek advice from your parents, elders, and even your parish priest about it. And read the Bible. Self-improvement must be a part of your modus operandi. For if you improve yourself, you will be in a better position to help improve the lives of others. For those of you graduating from elementary school, you must continue to high school. For those of you graduating from high school, I strongly encourage you to go to college and get that degree that you have always wanted. So I guess I'll end on that note. Heartfelt congratulations again to all of you, your parents, and your families. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat at sana'y pagpalain at biyayaan tayong lahat ng may kapal. Bye.